Greetings from Annulus. I'm here from the Temple of Bertoxilus, just outside Ocean Green Village. So basically what I'm doing here is just foraging for maggots. And so I'm doing this quest line here called Cure the Crud. It's for a quest giver called Karen, the Unkempt. She's in what will become Surefall Glade. Important thing to recognize in the Seeds of Destruction, and we're almost out of the Seeds of Destruction, is that there's a cockroach and another cockroach. Don't need those. In the Seeds of Destruction, we basically have Ocean Green Village, which will become Quanos, and Bertoxilus has a huge influence in the area. And so a lot of the quests involve like kind of curing the Bertoxilus influence into Ocean Green Village and Ocean Green Hills, which will become Quanos and Quanos Hills, as well as Surefall Glade. Another thing that you're tasked is to help prevent the spread of the Gnoll's influence, and the Gnolls are in kind of a civil conflict. So you're actually going to get a quest from some Raxdor Darkpaw to clear some of the Gnolls out of Ocean Green Hills. So a lot of this, again, you're trying to fix the timeline and prevent the spread of Bertoxilus and the Gnolls. And what this will eventually do 2,000 years later is allow for the construction of Quanos, Surefall Glade, and the cleansing of Quanos Hills. But as we all well know, in the modern game, or as if you want to call it modern during P99, like Bertoxilus is starting to come back, the Gnolls are starting to come back, so it's just a never-ending cycle, basically. So I'm basically stuck in this Temple of Bertoxilus, foraging for maggots, and I thought I'd post a video. So my guild, as you might know, is conducting a speed run for Old Man McKenzie missions, and we've right now the fastest times for the Old Man McKenzie speed competitions has been 9 minutes and 57 seconds for Nagavan Slayer or Soul B, 10 minutes and 29 seconds for Cursed Guck, and 8 minutes and 10 seconds for Lower Guck. So that's pretty. Actually, this is not a speed competition. This is just three buddies getting together for our morning routine. And so what has worked for the speed competitions in the past has been like a divide and conquer strategy. A big thing with Nagavan has been the Guano Harvester, and it's much more about the Guano Harvester being up and the strategies we use with the Guano Harvester. So you see our group is already kind of antsy, moving. So let's go ahead and start to progress here. Invisibility is key with these missions. Looks like Annulus is held up. Alright, which he usually is. So what I like doing is Sick in the Pit, just a single cast, and I keep my cleric around just for heals if things get a little out of control. A cleric is good at pacifying. So now only Annulus has to invis. Sometimes I try to cast invis while the last mob is dying. Follow. So yeah, a lot depends on the RNG or the random number generator. So what we're going to do is go past the little thing here. I'm going to try and do a fairly fast run. This is not going to set any records by any stretch. You see there's my teammates. We got an invis break. No! So yeah, invis breaks can make or break a speed run. So let's see here. Let's see what we do here. Looks like Jason's getting his butt kicked. So we're going to have to heal up Jason. Let's see here. Did he? Okay, so he charmed the Guardian. Alrighty, so I guess we're gonna do a... Okay. So we're not gonna re-invis. I guess we'll probably just stay in here. And yeah, so probably not gonna set any speed records now, but so the idea, oh, okay, well, okay, he blurred them off, so then we're just gonna bum rush the champion over here. The champion over there, okay, there he is, okay, and then we'll AoE Mez this group. Okay, there goes Angelus's pet, and just we'll pay attention to Jason's pet here. Probably give him a complete heal, and Nullify is kind of a good way to get rid of Spirit of the Wolf, but luckily we have a snarer. There's the king. You can tell this is moving very quickly. There's little J over there. I'm paying attention to his health, but the main thing is just get that king destroyed. Okay. Let's throw a heal out there. So fun. So you can see you're really hanging out with some veterans here. So basically the rest of this is just locked down. Another thing is, you know, Annulus does have a clicky, so I have a rune, bing, which helps. And for this Cobalt Priest, I can nullify him, at least get those, you know, hit point buffs off of him. But it does help. And so as he's going to die, I'm going to start casting Invis on Deal now. Because the problem is dragging the box through these things can be a real pain. So what we're doing is we're blurring off. The Enchanter's going to blur off all these ads. Shoot. Follow. Let's see. Okay, so he re-invised. So I'm gonna hold off because if I heal, my invis breaks. Oh gosh. And the problem is he's running out of mana, so we might have to kill these. We'll see. We'll see. So looks like Annulus's invis dropped, so we'll keep invis up on Annulus. Okay. Okay, there you go, blurred off. Let's get out of here. Alrighty. That's cool. You can. That's one thing I really like about being on a TLP is you can actually see them blur off, as opposed to being, you know, in a P99. You cannot see them. Oh, the Guano Harvester is up! Yay! All right, so I'm just going to go over here and we'll go ahead and Führer. Bam! And let's see here, Annulus is being trapped somewhere. So yeah, that's the cool thing is we lucked out with the RNG on the Guano Harvester there. So right, follow. I'm gonna throw a heal to little J because I'm bing. Okay, and let's go ahead and reapply Invis. So this is really fun. I mean, you know, we're just in such a routine at this point. I don't think we're going to set any major records, but okay, here's the bats. So what I like doing is just sit my cleric down. There's nothing you can do about the C and Viz bats. Just sort of bum rush them, monitor health, try and stay behind boulders and stuff. And I'll forget to set my pet in. There you go. All right, yeah. So you know, so yeah, so the Nagafin's lair depends a lot upon the RNG on the Guano Harvester. Some strategies involve leaving a tune behind, and allowing the guano harvester to path back to his original spawn location. Other strategies involve tracking the guano harvester through a lot of see-invis bats. The problem with that, oh, there's another name. The problem with tracking is the see-invis bats. They tend to stun, and when you got 3 or 4 on them, they kind of 3 or 4 on you. They tend to like stun lock you. So yeah, they're a big pain. So it's probably better to leave someone behind, but sometimes you're just lucky, like we were there, and the guano harvester's just up. It tends to increase your speed run. But invis breaks are a killer of a speed run. So okay, so we killed the noxious spider. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the stone spider. The stone spider's a real jerk. And these poisons that they cast are really harmful. So as my cleric is going to have to pay attention to whether or not people are poisoned. And so paying attention to health. A good place to stay is right here, just right behind this wall, because your line of sight is blocked here. And so what I like doing is kind of keeping an eye on pets. Okay, it looks like we have a necro pet that's poisoned. Okay. Alright, so where are we here? Okay, it looks like we're killing it here, so let's go ahead and just come right in here. Alright. No, I don't want to kill him. I want to go after this guy. Alright, let's clear this poison off. Okay, let's hit him with a heal. Oh gosh. Again, I gotta make sure I'm not poisoned. That's a word of heal. Okay, I believe this is a disease. There might be magic. Is it magic? Ah. Why is my pet not attacking? Attack the stone spider, please. Alright. Alright, so let's reapply invis. So I think we'll probably just do 2 this morning. We might be able to squeeze in lower guck. Boom. Follow. Alrighty. Let's get out of dodge. And just run. So that takes care of the stone spider. So I believe around 11 minutes has elapsed for this particular run. Okay, so here's the death beetle down here. It's nice. Death beetle is really nice. You can again just kind of follow his path. Dragging a box through here is not fun. All right. Death beetle, pet attack. And I can't mallow it. Mallow always helps. And let's drop a heal. The mage cleric combo is really nice. I like mage cleric. Kablamo. Alright, well, let's start the invis process. And this is what we call the death run, where we try to get from the death beetle to the Afridi. The main thing is just hide corpses, because you can accidentally try to loot a corpse. Follow. Alright, it looks like I lost invis on deal. Okay. Well, actually I didn't, but let's reapply invis on Annulus. I think the rune helps. The rune shield always helps. So just Toggle up. Alright, so far so good. Annulus not drowning in lava, not being attacked by lava people. Alright, just stay here. And we're just... Ifriti right here, there you go. And we gotta nullify his damage shield. So, let's go ahead and nullify. 6. Try and get Mallow on him. That damage shield can hurt your pets. And generally just 1 heal is all I need. Let's go ahead and do a word of healing. And just chain classed Shock of Swords. I can try to use Furor. I believe Furor can interrupt their casting. Maybe. There you go. Okay, so now I'm going to open the chest and hit uptime. Okay, we were 15 minutes, around 15 minutes. Not bad. So there you go. Let's see what dropped, what piece of group gear dropped. We got a Painbringer warrior item. So I'll just random on deal. Oh, let's see. Oh, no, give it to Gala. Give it to Gala, okay. Alright, no, boom. Boom. Okay, there you go. Nah. That's a problem. So many of us are just unselfish. We just don't care. Okay. So now we have one person out of group. So we're gonna when he joins, I can drop the task. So that was not bad. 15-minute run before work. 3 AAs, 3% experience, 2,000 plat. It's pretty nice. So that's a nice Nagafen run. Again, a lot depends on the Guano Harvester, where he is, if you have to track him, etc. We're probably going to do a live run, maybe a Cursed Guk run, and we'll go from there. Looks like we got ads, but nothing we can't handle here. See here under quest, we got a tactician and a king, so it looks like it's me and Gala here holding up the works. Alrighty, follow. Current fastest time is 8 minutes and 10 seconds. I don't think we're gonna beat that, but I think we'll still make good time. Right now the uptime is 8:51, so I'm still less than 10 minutes and we're at the final boss. That's pretty impressive. The method with respect to the dead side is a hopscotching method. So what you'll do is you'll have one group go and kill the assassin supplier, one group head down and kill the frenzied ghoul and the ghoul sentinel. When the frenzied ghoul and the ghoul sentinel are killed, that group then heads up to the reanimated hand, while the original assassin supplier group then heads over to, say for example, the ghoul archmagus, and then finally you just kind of hopscotch one named after another till you finally get to the ghoul lord, kill the ghoul lord. So it's a hopscotching method in dead side. On the live side, it's kind of a divide and conquer. It's very easy to do. These missions have been a lot of fun. Like I said, one reason for doing it is less about trying to get the fastest time, and it's more about trying to be on time for work. So just by necessity, trying to do these quickly has been why we do it. So I've just had such great fun with my friends this morning. I'm really going to miss these mornings. I'm really going to miss doing these competitions. And it's been great, like playing a cleric again. My original character has been a cleric on live, and boxing with a mage has been a lot of fun. So yeah, these have been just an absolute blast, and I would encourage anybody that enjoys this content, the classic content that's playing on live side or playing on a TLP. Do OMMs. You'll have a blast. Another thing that Old Man McKenzie missions have done for us is really help fill in our AAs and our gear deficiencies, especially for our boxes, or raid, in this case, my raid box. When you look at these Mithril Greaves, this is a raid drop augmented, 176 AC. This gives me ferocity 8. And let's see, what's my other one? Mithril Sleeves, or the Mithril Vambraces. These are 154 AC, and these give Cleave 3. So I have a Cleave item and a Ferocity item. For those who don't know, most people do know, but for those who don't know, say you're on a P99 server and you're interested in a TLP, or you're playing very early in a TLP, Cleave increases your chance of performing a double or Ferocity. Rather, Ferocity increases your chance of performing either a double or triple attack, and Cleave increases the chance of scoring a crit with a melee weapon. So yeah, you can have Cleave and Ferocity 9. Right now I have Cleave and Ferocity 8 on my raid box, which is pretty good. So those are some really nice raid drops. He also has this Frost Rift chest plate, which gives him 236 AC, improved parry block. Another thing he was able to do was get some gear with this Type 3, Slot 2 Type 3 slot. And I'm going to continue to forage here. I can't seem to get these rattles, or these maggots. But these Type 3 augs are nice, and you click it. This aug comes from doing the Kithakor progression, or the Kithakor achievements. And this will basically add a focus effect to my Beetle Swarm. It'll increase the damage from my Beetle Swarm, and you slot it into a Type 3 gear. This can only be removed with a perfected augmentation distiller, so that's pretty important. You cannot buy those from a vendor. Those can only be purchased from this Daybreak store, which has created a lot of contention. But the Type 3 augmentation is it's pretty cool. Basically, when you go into your window here and you type faction, you type 2 words, you type faction, and then you type achievement, or achieve. Okay, this is another cool thing about being on a TLP that I like. Click on Seeds of Destruction, sort by standing, and then over here we click on Seeds of Destruction and sort by quests. Right now, so you can see Partisan of the Army of Light, Partisan of the Army of Obliteration, Partisan of the Old Common Lands. This is all the Kithakor achievements. By doing these, you gain factions with Still a Herald. And what Still a Herald is she's one of the heralds assigned to correct the timeline in Kithakor. And so basically what you're doing is, your mission is to go back 2,000 years before the modern timeline. And in Kithakor, as it existed 2,000 years ago, is a contested territory between the Dark Elves and the High Elves. Okay, so the High Elves have their camp. It's obviously located closer to High Pass, and the Dark Elves have their camp. It's closer to the Common Lands. In this expansion, it's called the Old Common Lands. And the Old Common Lands are completely run over by what will become Neriak, basically. And so basically what you do is, for Steal a Herald, you do some missions for the Army of Light. So you do some missions for the good guys. You do some missions for the bad guys. and you clean up the old common lands. So you're not really taking one side over the other per se. You do get to work with Firiona Bai and Lannis Tavil, so you get to work with both of them. But the whole point of the exercise is to correct the timeline, because there's this other group of jerks called the Discordlings, or the armies of Discord, which are trying to screw up the timeline. And so, anyways, Stilla Herald is assigned to Kithakor. By getting all of, doing all these missions and getting high enough faction with her to where you're full ally, then you can buy this Type 3 augmentation. That's the whole point of all this. It's really cool lore, but you can't buy this until you're a full ally. So that's pretty important. And that focuses my beetle swarm, right? Deal's, let's see here. Deal's focus will reduce the duration of, his reuse time on Thief's Eyes. And I can just cast Thief's Eyes now. Let's see here. Boom. So there you go. Let me go ahead and hide again. And when you look at Thief's Eyes, it appears as a buff on my Bard Song window. There it is. And this improves your companion's balance, causing them to be less likely to miss with their melee attacks. So it prevents you from missing. So he can recast that 5% faster. So there's advantages to doing these missions. Right now I'm doing the Ocean Green Hills. So this would include Quanos Hills, and Surefall Glade. So when we look at Partisan, I've basically done everything except this last mission, Run to Daylight. This is a rescue mission. And then Mercenary of Ocean Green Hills, it involves doing some missions in Surefall Glade and doing some missions in Blackburrow. And Partisan of Ocean Green Village, this basically involves going to Quanos and cleaning up Quanos and doing some missions for them. So what this will do when I reach full ally, let me go back to the faction window, and the ally that I need to reach here is Bale's Herald. So Bale's Herald, or Antonius Bale. Again, all of these involve like cleaning up Quanos Hills, Surefall Glade, getting all the disease and null influences out, and eventually you'll raise enough faction with Bale's Herald to the point where I can buy another Type 3, and the Type 3 Aug that Annulus will get is it's a heal focus. It can help his healing. So that's pretty cool. That's part of the progression. I'm just continuing to forge here. I keep getting cockroaches. So, like I said, being here has really helped Annulus's gear. I talked about some armor drops. When you look at some weapons, I got this Frost Rift bow. This is an excellent bow. It's not the best in the expansion, but it is pretty nice. I got this from doing an OMM raid. I think this dropped off Fox. And I got the Scimitar of the Mistwalker. This gives two things. It gives a pet that will proc off of a weapon, which helps with Annulus's DPS, and Circle of Life, which is an aura that can benefit heals for anyone casting within the aura as long as they're close to Annulus. So you have to be pretty close, but it will help kind of add a little bit of a increase to any healing effect as long as they're within that aura. Like I said, doing Old Man McKenzie missions is like a really super efficient way to get alternate advancements. And it's another thing is, like I was saying, I was able to get Deal pretty well filled in, but it's really hard on hybrids. With pure melee, it's easier, but on hybrids, there's a lot more AA to get. So I was able to get all the ranks of Auspice of the Hunter, and I was able to get Spire. Auspice of the Hunter is really cool. I could talk about that. And Spire, everyone gets Spire in Seats of Destruction. They get some manner of Spire. I can show you what these are. So you get a class-specific Spire. So first, Auspice of the Hunter. It does a lot of really cool things, which I can, with this button here, it's called Mass Buff. And with Auspice of the Hunter, what I can do is I can buff an entire raid force with this Auspice alternate advancement. And what that does, oh yes, what that does is, okay, this will increase the chance of direct damage spells dealing crit damage by 21%. So that's the key phrase in there, direct damage spells by 21%. So basically, any insta-cast nukes. So by applying this, and it will appear as a buff on the Bard Song, anyone that's casting a nuke will have a 21% chance of dealing a crit. So that's nice. So that will include rangers, but anyone. So I think, wizards, druids, anyone that's casting a nuke, even like a cleric nuke using an undead spell, like a banish undead or whatever, they have a 21% chance of critting off of that. For instant duration heals, that's the key. So not an elixir or a heal over time, but an instant duration heal. So in the case of a ranger, it would be Ocean Green Aquaphor. There's a 21% chance that you'll deal a crit heal, so it will benefit healers, right? And then for melee, you have a 165% chance that your melee attacks will deal a crit, and it'll increase your melee accuracy and your melee attack power by 155 and 165. So it helps melee, it helps healers, and it helps casters with like burst DPS. Not damage over time, not heals over time, but just insta-cast, okay? And again, I can buff an entire raid force, and I've got the highest rank of that. So, Annulus in a raid format, yes, all right. So now to collect the stuff I'm going to start foraging for deal now. Okay. What I was saying is, with respect to being on a raid force, Annulus is behaving as a true support class. So it's definitely, he is increasingly valued for going on raid. He can serve an important function for raid. He's not just like ornamentation for deal. Originally, when I created Annulus, I basically he was sort of background radiation. He would be the background DPS that I would drag him up to the Ralos and or the Valen and Talonzek fight where he would true shot. So this is during the Planes of Power era. I would true shot for the Valen and Talonzek fight, and then the cooldown would be just long enough that I could true shot for the Quorm fight. And so Annulus, his DPS was significant, but now increasingly he's much more than just background radiation or background DPS. He's now like increasingly a true hybrid, true support class, and I really like what Seeds of Destruction has been able to do for him. When we look at Apex of the Pathfinders, this is all about increasing the damage from a crit melee attack. So when you crit, your damage will increase by 20%, right? And then it reduces the damage you take from a melee attack by 3%. So it increases the amount of damage you do when you crit, and it reduces the amount of damage you take. It also absorbs 3% of incoming damage up to 100 million total damage. So these two can be stacked, right? As well as the clicky from this Scimitar of the Mistwalker, which benefits heals, etc. So all these things work hand in hand. So Annulus has really become quite powerful. He's got some other really cool focuses. He's got the skull-shaped barbute. He's got a lot of nice group gear. He has a tiered group progression. These hands, this is from doing group armor progression, and he got the group 4.5. This gives him a 55% focus to his cold-based attacks, and from his mithril sleeve, which gives him cleave 3, it also gives him a 80% focus to fire-based spells. So he gets some nice focus effects from his group gear, as well as his own and raid gear. When we bandolier to his shield, you can see his armor class is nearly 1700. That's not bad for a chain class. So basically, to conclude, basically I'm bored and I wanted to make a video, well, foraging for maggots. And but to conclude, Seeds of Destruction has been really good to us.